Okay, are we online? Let's try to double check the stream. Network error. Okay, there we came up. Looks like it's still got the chat from last time. Hey, we might want to spam some chat. Okay, so now we just got a bunch of XXXs. At some point, I'm gonna have to figure out how to actually clear out the chat for that. So hello everybody from the future, because right now there's nobody watching the stream, which is totally fine. But I'm gonna try to keep these uploaded on Twitch and YouTube. Today I thought, because I'm setting up these channels to do live coding, and I didn't have branding, I tried to make one in an online Photoshop and it sucked. So I thought it would be a fun project to write some code to actually try to generate branding. And I'm going to start completely from scratch. This is a totally new project. There's nothing in here except what it automatically generated. I have nothing, I've actually never done image generation and manipulation with .NET and C# before. So the very first thing we're going to do is research a little bit of what tools and libraries are available. And we'll just do that right on stream here. And get some help from AIs and Google and stuff like that. So let's start with that. Is there like a main bitmap class? Okay. So they do have a main bitmap class. It's in system.drawing. Drawing and graphics operations. Okay, so you can get like a graphics handle. Pretty normal. And then probably, yeah, okay, it's got like a save thing that you can use to write a file. So let's try that, just for fun. No, first of all, I just installed Visual Studio 2026, and I hate that it's defaulting me to these gigantic four-space tabs. So first, do that environment, text editor. Just find tab for different languages. Language settings have moved. Okay, whatever. General. Yeah, tabs. Go down to 2 for sure. Okay. So now let's fix these up. Okay, 8 internal class. Alright, got public class program. Do we have any kind of constructors that come with this guy? Generate class, what the hell? Where is? Do we not have system.drawing or whatever? We have system.drawing. But now can be found in system.drawing. Okay. Let's go. See, I might be getting trolled around by the Google AI here. Let's see if we can find the actual like documentation for it. Oh, see, look, the AI tries to answer me again. So greedy. System.drawing. Okay, yeah, that's there. And I'll probably, you know what? I probably need to add a project reference. Where do we do that? Dependencies. NuGet package. Project shared. Can't believe it has system.drawing. It doesn't have bitmap. It's crazy. Okay, and it's got some stuff in there. Now we're gonna figure out why. Sorry about that, we're back. It's missing because it's not in the base.NET Core library. You need to add system to drawing.common NuGet. Ah, come on. Fine, let's do it. Okay. So now we've got a NuGet package dependency, and we should have. Hey, there we go. Finally. All right. Now, what kind of constructors do we got for this guy? We can pass it an image, stream, file, a width and a height. That's probably what we want. So, just for testing, let's make it like 500 by 500. And then what was our original? Does this have a save? Oh, what is that complaining about? Well, I'm hovering, it's not going to tell me. Call site is reachable on all platforms. On Windows 6. Okay. How I only want this to run on Windows. How do I make this thing not think that I want to also compile it for like Mac and Linux? And that would be a good thing to figure out. Let's check. Ensure project only builds for Windows. Target framework. .NET framework. Blah blah blah. Okay, platform target. So, configuration properties. Probably it's going to be in like the project settings, right? Output, console, target. Yeah, okay, target OS. Let's just make this Windows. Alright, is that gonna fix this thing? Yeah, alright, so now we got that warning to go away. Now, does this have... We do have a save. Okay. Let's get us a path. Oh, it can't be read-only and get set, can it? I guess I could just do a con. No, it's not. Okay, let's do this at like where's my project again? Got a folder in here with the project files. Let's just make a folder in here. This is gonna get checked into the Git repository, which is fine, I guess. Just gonna call it output. Okay. So under this one, we got this. Actually, can't we do the like? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Alright, so now if I want to save the file, it can be like I assume that's going to save as an actual bitmap file. Okay. So let's see, we created an empty bitmap and told it to save to a certain file name. Do we have the file? Ah, we do. Oh, what do you mean? Paint. Oh wow, it's like literally transparent empty. Okay. So we got an empty 500 by 500. Sweet, so far so good. So now we can generate a bitmap file. So now how do we want to structure this? Well, first I want to think about what I actually want to put in it. I want to put in the logo kind of like I have it in the banner. I want to get some layers of like ones and zeros and some kind of gritty effects in the background. Let's see, what can I do first of all with this raw bitmap? Can I like edit the pixels? Pixel, get pixel and set pixel. So you can do the raw pixels, okay? So if I wanted to give it some kind of noise texture, let's do... let's call this y0, y is what's done. Yeah. Inside there. Yep. Inside here, so now we could do... I'm just gonna give this X, Y. Okay. So just for fun, let's do... Color constructor take 4. Is it like ARGB? What is my constructor options here? It's gonna tell me. Oh, it doesn't even have constructor. Okay, whatever. Gotta wrap these. Oh. Why is this a problem? Are they read only? Oh, this thing is not hovering over and tell me what it has a problem with. Do I have error output down here? This is debug. There we go. Cannot be, yeah, it's read only. Well, how the hell do you construct a color? Oh, you know what? I better know how. Yeah, there we go. From ARGB, we can do that. So I assume that's going to be ARPG. Yeah, okay. Let's get that. So that's the red, the green, and the blue. And then we're going to set the pixel to that color. What is this complaining about? Is for loop 8 one of our closing braces? Oh, okay. Do bitmap here, we're going to say. Call fill noise on it. And let's run it like that. Doop, doop, doop. Okay. Hey, there we go. So now we got a nice striation. This is just literally passing the x plus y plus z, or sorry, x plus y coordinates of the pixel that we're coloring to the, we're setting each pixel's x and y to the sum of x and y. So we get this nice kind of cool diagonal pattern. So that looks cool, but it's just a test. For this one, I really just want to, what's up? You want to come take a look at this? Excited? It's cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So that's really just a test to make sure I can set the colors. And now I'm going to go encode in some kind of noise. Okay. So let's see. To get noise, we're probably going to need a random number generator. We've got a cat purring into the microphone. I'm not listening to the stream audio, so I don't know what it sounds like, but it sounds pretty good. You can use R to get a next end. So each time we do a pixel, I want to get like next end 64. No, it's not. Let's just do next. Of like I don't know, let's just call it like 100. Probably pass it as a parameter. Actually, if we want to do like multicolor noise, we need to get 3. Let's start with just 1. So this is going to be like not all the way. In fact, I'm actually going to turn this down. So we get like a kind of a dark, gritty, random. So now we're going to set, so we generate a random integer for each pixel. We're going to set our red, green, and blue for each pixel to that random one that we generated. Hey, look at that. We got noise. So it's just generating random number to, how do I get this thing back to 100%? Oh, it's down here. Yeah, see? It's got this cool noise pattern. It's kind of like something from Minecraft or whatever.
It does look pixelated just like Minecraft.
Well, when I zoom in, it looks pixelated. But, you know, there's a way we could keep the pixelation at a higher level, but I think that's not the effect that I want. Alright, now I'm just trying to set up like a baseline so that I can kind of like grunge something up or like make a background. In fact, probably I don't want it to fill this with the random things. I probably want it to add to a random. So let's see if I did like let's say I got like a circle in here to test with. First of all, how do I do that drawing command stuff? if I did like okay, using a graphics instance, new bitmap, graphics.from image bitmap. Okay, so be like you get a graphics object. What do I using? Is that word? Yeah, okay. So it disposes the thing afterward. Alright, so here, draw arc. It doesn't give me circle. I have to draw arc. How do I draw a circle with an arc? It's like first of all, you have to pass it a pen. How do I get a pen? Pen down. Does pen have constructor? Okay. Pen can be made from a brush, color, or a color and a width. Okay. Let's do this like I get like a red color. Pen is gonna be from red with a width of 3. Then let's just call it pen. Then we can do, so we can draw an arc, pass it the pen. Rectangle. Why the hell would you pass it a rectangle? Oh, okay, to get the location, whatever. Oh, the location and the, alright, whatever. So let's just do like 200, 200, 400, 400. Oh no, it's not gonna work. So it's fully within the image. The start angle is 0. The sweep angle is it's gonna be like, it's in radians, right? What doesn't like about this that it's a double? Do I literally have to explicitly cast this to a float? Alright. Now we can't do this one because it's gonna replace it. But if we spit it out now, what did we get? Well, something happened. Why the hell did it only do that? Oh, whatever. I'm gonna have the AI tell me. Now it's taking its time. Let's check Stack Overflow. Fill ellipse. Okay, let's try that instead. That's probably way nicer to use than fill arc. Let's get this. Alright, here we go. So now, oh, this one doesn't want a pen, it wants a brush. How do I get a brush? Okay. Can I construct a brush, or do I have to say like brushed? Oh, it's a type. Okay. So here I can pass it red. Okay. Fill ellipse. The brush, and then we can do it. Okay, let's try it like that. There we go. Alright, so now we shitted out a nice red circle in our test image. So now that gives us a testing basis to go and see if we can apply noise to so here I got it called fill. Let's call it instead apply noise. Alright, so now when we go and do this, instead of doing what we were doing, what we want to do is first get the old color that was there, and then we're gonna make a new color. First of all, okay, get the random, see, make a new color, and here instead of this, so now we're just gonna say this is gonna make it randomly lighter than the old color, which might mess it. I might need to cap it for. Okay, let's do that. I need to do like math dot. It's not sealer floor, like math dot men or whatever. This is gonna be car dot red plus n. Oh, come on, what's wrong with that? Byte. No overload takes one. Oh, duh. Okay. So it's our red, our green, and our blue. Okay, so now we take whatever was there and add the noise to it. So let's see what that looks like. Ah, okay, there we go. So now we've gridded up this red circle nicely. That's what I was looking for. That's a pretty cool effect. I could also, if I wanted to, could make it like do a little bit different like color range on each one, so we could get kind of like a, could actually get a different, let's try that just for fun. So let's give a different color noise to each one. So it's we're not just increasing it grayscale. Okay, so if I set it up like that, and now we get this like really kind of like fuzzy, colorful one. I don't really like that though. What I would like, I think, for a graphical effect is to be able to like constrain the range. On the red it looks kind of cool. But on the black, you can, or the transparent, you can just tell that it's it's like multicolored. It looks rainbow, which is not really what I'm going for. Okay. Well, let's leave that noise thing for now and come up with an actual plan for what we want to generate. So first, okay, one thing I want to do here is I want to try to use the same code base and generate like a profile image and like banners for the channels, and you know, maybe like a desktop background or something, so that they all kind of come from the same source. They all have the same style and theme. So let's do that. Maybe let's imagine that each of these, we're gonna have some like methods that do stuff to an image or generate stuff for an image, and for each one of them we want it to have a kind of like a profile that documents what type of image we're generating, like which of those categories we're putting together. So it's almost like you could have a couple of classes or types, like a desktop and a banner, and the other like profile picture or whatever. And then from within those, you might want each of those to have like a different size. So we could start to model that. Let's add a new item here. Let's call this what is the generic term for this thing? Like not a brand image, like a whatever, I'll call it brand type. We can always change it later. Okay, so this one we're gonna get. There's another thing I want to change. A lot of people who do C# love these like braces on the next line, but I hate it. So let's go and see if we can fix that up really quick. In our options. Okay, for C#, statement completion, tabs, code style, formatting, indentation. Okay, that's okay. What about new lines? There we go. How come there's an options window and clicking that opens another old options window? I recognize this from older versions of Visual Studio. So they just literally didn't feel like recoding it. They felt like recoding part of their options to go into this cool like themed thing that goes inside of the main window. But they didn't feel like recoding this part of the options. Look, this, it has the whole thing. This is the whole old options window from old Visual Studio. And it's typical Microsoft. The whole operating system is kludged together that way now with like bits and pieces of mobile-friendly crap and bits and pieces of like old Windows Forms crap. I installed sound drivers today and it looked like it was Windows XP. Alright, let's see. So, open brace, a new line for types, no. Methods, no. Properties, no. Accessors, no. Anonymous methods, no. Control blocks, no. Anonymous types, no. Object collection, no, definitely not. Open brace on new line for lambda, no. Okay. Not for else, not for catch, not for finally. Members and object initializers on new line. Maybe? Place members and anonymous types on new line. Query expression, whatever. I'm gonna turn them all off. Oh, I see what it's doing here. No, those I do on a new line. Okay, fine. Okay, so now let's go fix up the other one so we keep our style consistent. This is something I'm sure anybody who works professionally gets annoyed about. There's some style here and some style there. I'm just gonna go patch these up really quick. That's everything in here. Alright, I think that's all my braces. So now inside brand type, what are our brand types? We got like a banner, we got a profile, we got a, I'm gonna call it desktop BG, like a, I'm just gonna call it desktop. Okay, that's our 3 types. Then we've got another thing I could call like a brand profile. So a brand profile represents like how it's supposed to be for a very specific very specific output dimensions. Right now dimensions is the main thing that I'm thinking of, but it might also be able to specify like theme colors or whether we want black and white or something like that. Because like when I was trying to do the banner image before, I saw YouTube and Twitch and everybody has like slightly different sizes that you're supposed to generate. Oh, and like an inner size, like center content size would be important too. So when I went to edit I think it's the YouTube one, it has like 3 different regions for how which parts of the banner are going to show up on which different devices. So like there's a little chunk in the center that shows up for mobile, and then there's larger chunk around the side that shows up for like other platforms like desktop or whatever. So probably we should be able to represent in here the size, like the dimensions of the area of interest, where all of the real important branding stuff should be, separately from the full size of the actual image that's being generated. So let's give that, is each of these like a rectangle? Let's see. Okay. Let's give it a name too. We'll pass this name. Yeah, pretty much like that. Then we also want what are we going to call that? The focus, the interest, and the AOI, area of interest. I'm supposed to represent that as a rectangle, because, well, that's going to get kind of annoying to generate background elements. No, not necessarily. Yeah, let's get us like a... So this is going to be like where all the important stuff has to be within the image, and the rest of it can just be kind of like cool background effects or whatever. We'll take that as well. Okay, so then where do I want to, I could just make these static or whatever in here. Yeah, it might be a better place to organize it, but let's just try to do that. So let's take like a YouTube banner, for example. Now let's pull up some information about that. What are the relevant? What's the relevant information about this? Okay, so yeah, this is what I was talking about a minute ago. But it's like out of the whole. Well, it's not gonna let me expand it. What's going on with this? It's being very slow. If there's like a region around, yeah, see it says TV at the top, so that's the full size thing. And then there's like a strip in the middle that's going to show up on desktops. And then there's a chunk inside of the strip in the middle that's going to show up on all devices. So text and logo safe area. So that's this inner rectangle is what we're describing in our brand profile as the area of interest that we're trying to model. Okay, so TV is going to be 356x40, or yeah, 2560. So let's see. So YouTube banner, because I'm just generating one image for it that's going to get uploaded, it should be the full size. It's going to be, this I don't like. I want to pass it as individual ints. and then we can represent it as a rectangle inside. Let's take so XY with height. Alright, so then here we're gonna do 1. Alright, so our YouTube banner is gonna be named we're going to specify it's a banner type, and then we said what, 2560 by a height of 1440 is the total output size, and then the area of interest here that we were just looking at is like in total it's 1235 by 338. I think it said. And then what are the X and Y of that going to be? So this is this one. Oh, let's just give the whole. I guess I have to work it out manually. If we're gonna do, if our total width is 2560. No, let's just do it. Whoa, that is huge. Okay, I'm just gonna do like from 60 divided by 2. 12 by 80. I should have done the other one first. We'll just keep track of it in Notepad as well. Okay. So let's get so 1280 is half the total width. And alright, what am I doing? So we got half the total width. Now we got half the width of the inner area. Why is this an odd number in here? Oh, you know what? There's an easier. No. Well, what am I doing? If this is, no, it doesn't say. This is the whole width by 338. So if we do, yeah, okay, I'm trying to calculate the width of this section. So there's a way easier way to do this. I'm being stupid. Okay. 2560 minus 1235. So now that's the combined width of what's left over here and what's left over here. And I want to take that divided by 2. And that gives me the total width of this area, which gives me the x coordinate of my area of interest. It's came out to a half pixel. I don't give a shit about the half pixel, so we're just going to call it 662 for the x. And then we can do the same thing for the y. So if we go back over here, and the y, so our total height is 1440 minus 338. So now that's the total width of these two gray areas. And if we cut that in half, it should be the width of one gray area up here. So the y of our area of interest is 551. All right, so this is the description of the full size and then the location, the upper left corner of where this thing wants to go. All right, how come my my Twitch stream looks like it's frozen? I'm trying to refresh it. Is it still up? I can't tell if it's still up. Okay, it's fine for you. Alright, cool. Then let's leave it like this. Alright, just let me know if it goes down. Alright, so that's a good example for one. That encodes all the different styles we want. Eventually, when we get more of these, we'll have something like we'll just leave a note here. Oh, this needs to be... Okay. So now I've got kind of a description of each one that we want to output. And then in our main program, we're gonna have, let's see, should I like, yeah, let's put it into a class, why not? Let's add a new item here. What am I doing? When I see get stuff, I don't see add. I have to right click this, okay. Let's call it a brand renderer. So I like to do this when I'm designing programs. I go and start to kind of model stuff out with empty classes, just imagining like the arrangement of how the objects are going to fit together. And we can do the brand renderer is going to take in profile, and probably because we gave the profile a name, we can just use that to get the file name. So really all we need is the profile that we want to render. In fact, actually, we'll just have this one get back a bitmap. Like bitmap render. So that's where we're going to do our main stuff. I guess if we wanted to, I don't know, we could make subclasses of this for each type, but that might be overkill. I might just if-else it because there's only like 3. So then in our main program up here, what we're basically going to do is say, I don't even have to do files. Just, we can just do, that's JavaScript. So we go over all of our profiles that we're going to have, and for each one, we're going to say create a renderer for the profile. Bitmap equals, we're going to call render on it, and then we're going to make a file. File name is going to be, or let's call it file path. Enter path, and we're also going to give it these are bitmaps, I think, that are getting saved. Or it's complaining that they also exist down there. Okay. So render, bitmap, file path. Then we're going to do save the bitmap at the file path. Which will be good. I'm just going to hang on to this for reference later. Alright, so a program's going to start up. It's going to loop over all the profiles that we want to generate. It's going to make a generator for each one, call render on it. And it's going to combine an output path, and it's going to crap it out. So this one that we started to do, we could probably have model this as something like an effect. I'm gonna call like let's call it a filter. So a filter is a thing that takes a bitmap and outputs a bitmap of the same size. So yeah, let's do it like that. So let's make ourselves like a folder for them. Make a folder called filters. And here we're gonna add let's do like a filter interface. And this really is just gonna have a render method, I guess. Or no, it's gonna have an apply method. Do we want it to always put out a old bitmap, or we just apply it in place? I think we apply it in place. So this is going to return void. And I guess depending on the type of filter it is, you'll be able to construct it with different settings. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So now our noise one, we can create like a noise filter, and you don't have to pass it the width and height because it already comes with those. And we're gonna have you implement the iFilter interface. So for noise filter, just for fun, we can do like to start, let's call it like so when you create a noise filter, it's going to capture a range. And we can take the algorithm we were doing from over here. Just like that. Pop it in here. And now here, we're going to do each of these based on the range. Alright, and that gives back the original bitmap. So now the new way to do, instead of what we had here, is that over in our brand renderer. So first, I guess we're gonna create a new bitmap, right? And that's gonna get, oh, I need to save the profile. Alright, so this is gonna get so this is now like our full image that we're gonna use. And at the end, we're gonna return that. And then if I wanted to do, let's go back to drawing our stupid circle for now. Or we can have it, actually, this will be easier. And the brand renderer. This time we're gonna do it from, do a rectangle. And the brush can be the solid red brush, and then the rectangle, we're just gonna directly use the profile area of interest. And then we're going to, So now we've drawn a little bit of crap in there. And then to apply that blur filter, we're gonna say noise equals noise filter, and the range is like, let's start it really subtle. Let's start it with like 32, and then we can say noise filter applies to the bitmap, and then we return the bitmap, and then it comes back out here. The bitmap gets back, gets saved. So now we can probably get rid of all this crap. Okay, easy. So now if we punch it, let's see what we got out here. All right, so this was the old one we were doing. Now we have a test YouTube banner. You see it's huge. It's the real YouTube banner size. It does have the red rectangle inside the area of interest. Like we could compare this to the thing I had up a second ago. I don't know, a really good way to put these side by side. It looks like we got the math right. This looks like approximately the same area of interest that's in the middle of this screen over here. So that's good. So far, so good. But the other thing that's really easy to do now is that we can delete this test one. We can just come into the renderer and say like, well, I really want that to be jazzed up. We can give it like a huge number. And now we should get like really crazy noise generation. Yeah, now it's like super fuzzy and staticky. Okay, so we got a basic little function to apply noise to something. So now I've got just a little bit of a structure. I'm actually gonna organize these a little bit. Stuff can go in there. Yes, we can adjust the namespace. And now program.cs is the only thing that sits out here in the license. And everything else is in nice folders. Okay, so now I guess we can start thinking about what we actually want to do. So the main thing, the first thing, is I want to get some actual text going on. So let's get rid of this noise crap for now. We can get rid of this rectangle crap for now. Probably we want to start by filling the bitmap with an actual solid background color, because right now it's transparent. Oh, we're gonna have to do the using graphics thing for that. I'll just do on our brush. It's gonna make us create a brush. Let's make it black. Okay, and we're gonna fill 0, 0 to Alright, so that should fill the whole thing. Oh, I didn't mess with the brush. So that should fill our whole bitmap black as a starting point. Actually, I do want to put some noise on it just as a start. So let's go ahead and do this. I guess we can just combine this. So let's give it like a real subtle one to start. just to get a base going. Okay, so yeah, it's like a really subtle, kinda noisy effect. But even before that, I think maybe should get like kind of a sheen, like kind of a gradient going on. First of all, do we have any kind of like gradient option? Is there like a gradient brush? Line gradient brush. Okay, there it is. That's cool. How do I want to generally implement that? So we've got a filter, which takes a bitmap and does stuff to it. We could also have a generator, which takes nothing and gives back. Oh yeah, you know what? I think I like that. Let's get us a generators folder. And do like a, what do I want to call this? Like a gradient generator. Yeah, it makes sense because you don't really filter. Let's just do it then. Okay, so a generator. Now here's a question. Do you tell the generator what size output image you want? Or do you tell it, or does it tell you what size it's going to give you? I think you should tell it what size you want, and then it's going to generate whatever it's responsible for generating within that size. And maybe even within, you could always composite it. That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure yet. No, maybe you're going to pass it constructor parameters, and then it's going to generate you one of whatever size it wants. What's wrong with this? Oh, you know. Okay, so a generator is a thing that you can call generate, and it gives you back a bitmap. And if the generator wants any parameters about how big, then you got to pass those to a constructor. So a gradient generator is going to take a width and a height, and probably should take a starting color and an ending color. And then really like an advanced gradient thing, you could pass it like a list of colors to like linearly interpolate. I don't know if that's a thing that this linear gradient brush. Yeah, 0.1, 0.2, color 1, color 2. That's almost exactly. Okay, so from point to point. But that's different than... Actually, that is a general way to represent it, though. Okay, or you can also pass it float angle. That, I think, is the way that I'm thinking of doing it. Based on a rectangle starting and ending colors. Yeah, okay. No, actually, let's do, okay. So from one point to a second point, it transitions from this color to this color. And then probably the angle between those points determines what angle the thing goes at, and that gives you some control over it. So really I need a width and a height and a point. And then color. Okay, and then you're gonna have Alright. I'm glad to hear that the stream's going okay. I don't know how long ago you said that because I wasn't looking at the chat. Okay, so we're gonna create a gradient in here just from the... You know what, if we create a brush from it in the constructor, we don't even need to remember those. Just bake them right in here. And then we save the brush. Just save the brush on the class. Alright, so then we're going to implement, and we're going to what's going on here? How come it's typing every key twice? Alright, did it get fixed? Is that some Visual Studio 2026 shit? So that should satisfy the interface here. New bitmap, width and height, and then you're going to now here we're gonna do the get our graphics context. Pass the brush first. Okay, and then return the bitmap. It's kind of a simple one. It's just a jumping off point. So over here, now before I do the noise, before I apply the noise, the first thing I want to do actually, maybe instead of generating in here, we can say new gradient generator for one that's P2. Okay, it's gonna be, so we want these to be in the center on the x-axis, which is going to be profile.width divided by 2. And we want them to be in the, from the Y, we want one at the top and at the bottom. Okay, so this is going to be new point that goes from 0 profile.height. So we wanted to make an image that's the width and height of the target. Starts at the top. All right, and then we want it to, the colors. I want it to go, I want it to start kind of simple, or like kind of low. Just give it like a, So from 64s to 16s, top to bottom. I'm gonna let that generate down here. Let's just organize this better. So here's the noise filter. Takes 32. Noise filter apply to the bitmap and return it. Alright, let's try that. Oh. Parameters not valid. What are you talking about? No, because we didn't. Alright, try again. Yeah, there we go. So now you can see it if I scroll up and down. It's or maybe if I zoom out. So now we've got kind of like a nice textured background here. Now this is something that might make sense for ooh, you know what I kind of would like actually? I kind of want the noise to be more pixelated. I want to pass that as a parameter. That can be a feature of our noise filter. We got a range, and we also want it to have a block, which can default to 1. Oh, what am I doing? So now we've got a parameter in our noise filter. Now that's gonna change what we were doing here. Because really, we're gonna iterate in blocks, and for each block we're gonna create a new color, and then we're gonna hit all the pixels inside the block. So we're gonna have a more nested loop. We're gonna need a loop on the outside. Y equals so let's then we need to compute the number of blocks first. So Y blocks, let's do X. Our X blocks is going to be the width of the bitmap divided by the number of blocks, or the block size. And that we want it to round up probably. Because how do we handle if we do this? If our block size doesn't exactly line up with our thing, then probably like at the very end, we're gonna have one that goes over. So we want to take that into account when we actually do our looping. So this is going to be, I guess, the seal of this value. And what integer division truncates, so that probably means I have to make these floats first. And then take that back to an n. So this is like the number of blocks that we have going across, rounded up if it gets chopped off on the last one. And then we have the same concept, but with the height to get the Y blocks. So now we know we can go. Oh, you know what? Is there? No, because I have to do the color randomization. I think this is the right way to do it. As long as Y is less than Y blocks. So now we iterate over the blocks that we want to affect. And inside there is where we're going to get the randomized colors that are going to stay the same for the block. Then I don't have to like loop over and set the colors. I can just do, I could just do a fill rectangle. But to do a fill rectangle, this whole thing has to be inside a graphics context. Which is fine, I guess. Alright, so got a graphics context in here. For our rectangle, we're going to start with a this is going to be the X block number times the block size, and the Y block number times the block size. And then for the width and height, those are just the block size. And the only reason that changes is if we're at the very last block. So if we're actually, you know what? I don't even think it matters, because I bet if I tell this thing to draw outside the bitmap, it'll just ignore it. So let's try that first. Let's try to not mess with it. This will, if our block size was something weird like 6 or 7 or whatever, and our image is not a direct multiple of 7, that means the last row of blocks that we drag, we paint here, like it's gonna, if this is the edge of our image, it's gonna try to draw a block like here, and it's gonna draw it a little bit off the side. But I bet it just does it, and it doesn't complain about it, which would be really nice. Okay, so we got a rect, then we're going to we can fill a rectangle. Can I just pass this a color? Does it have to be a brush? I have to make a brush every time from the color? Well, I have to actually I guess it's one color. Oh, how am I gonna get the starting? You know what? This isn't gonna work. I'm gonna have to loop over all the pixels on the inside, because for each one, I want to actually get the source of the original pixel. So if I apply this on top of an image, I want it to keep the sharpness of the image that was under it, but I want it to generate the different noise levels in larger blocks. So okay, and if I do that, then I am gonna have to mention. All right, no problem. Let's do it like this. So x0 is gonna be block x times block. Oh. Equals block x times the block size. 0 equals the block size. So the number of x pixels is going to be whatever is smaller. What we want it originally to be the block size, but we would only make it smaller if we just pass it the bitmap width, right? Oh, this should be all right. So the ending pixel is going to be, it's going to try to get the starting pixel plus the block size, but it's going to max out at the width of the bitmap, so we don't go beyond that. All right, and then now we're going to do our inner loops. actually y is going to be y0. Y is less than yn. X plus. So now in here we can finally do the actual get pixel, add color, and set pixel. Okay, much like we were doing here. So here we generate our 3 ins. So let's call this let's call this random R and random G and random B. Okay. Then get color, new color, 255. Actually, this we're also going to take the alpha from the old pixel. Just going to directly take it, and we're going to do men from old color dot R plus R. Okay, that looks correct. And then we're going to set the XY to the new color. So now, if we do this with a block size of 1, it should come out exactly identical to what it was doing before. But if we do it with a block size that's larger, we should see chunkiness to it. So let's try that. Back in the brand renderer. I'll get rid of this. Our noise filter, let's give it a block size of like 6. And we'll make this a little bit larger. Okay, 64 random color range and a block size of 6. Let's see if that worked. Let's see if I messed it up. Oh, it didn't crash. Hey, there we go. Now it's a little bit bigger and blockier. That worked exactly like it's supposed to. Beautiful. So now we should see, like, if we applied this noise on top of something that was already there. Oh yeah, now it's gonna keep the source alpha. So yeah, this is gonna work really nicely, because if I keep a if I generate a text, if I make an empty bitmap at 0 alpha and I generate a text on it, then only the pixels that get painted are going to have alpha. And then if I do a noise on that, it's only going to color the text. It's not going to add noise to the background. So that could be pretty cool. Let's see what it looks like with like a different, well, we know what it looks like with a different block size. So like, if we gave it a huge block size. Yeah, now it's got these like big random chunky pixels. Okay, neat though. So now we can use that to get kind of like a grittier, more pixely layer effect. Now the other thing I want to do about this is I don't really want it to apply color range randomly. I would like it if you I wonder if we like give it a color that parameterizes it, that sets like it does random within that color. That actually might be a good way to do it. So for the noise, filter, instead of passing it a range, we're gonna make this range into a color. And then here, instead of so our random red is going to be from the colors red component. Our random green is going to be from the colors green component. And our blue is going to be from the colors blue component. So now if I went in like when I invoke this, instead of giving it 64, because I want something that's kind of like in a blue teal kind of a zone. So like, what was that I was doing before? Like maybe like 16, 32, 32. That might be a little subtle. Let's try like 24, 48, 48. And give that to this thing. Is that gonna do what it's supposed to? I'm not 100% sure. Hey, it did. Okay, so it basically, on average, it like tints the color of the blocks that we're gonna get out of it, which is pretty cool. All right, so let's say, but now, yeah, that block size is still way too big. So let's, this is the kind of thing that could depends on the size probably. Because like for a smaller screen, I would probably want this block size to be smaller, so it's not like huge chunks. But for a big, huge one like the YouTube one, it's like too fine grained if I leave it. So make a note later. Okay. Let's do for now. Let's do it at like 8 maybe. And this one, just give it more blue than green. There, okay, that looks pretty cool. We get this nice kind of like bluish grittiness. All right, so what do we want to do next? Yeah, all right, we should stop messing with this thing and go and generate the actual text. So now probably I should have a text generator. I really don't like that I have to pass the width and height that I want to the generator here. I could pass it in there. Yeah, but if I'm gonna do like a text, that's the thing that I'm thinking about. For a text, I don't want to give it a width and height. I want to give it more like a font size and let it generate the size that it's gonna be. But how do I know what size bitmap to create for that? Is there any kind of like text measure in C#? Measure string size object containing the width and height of the specified string when rendered in a given font. Oh, okay. Got it. So that's exactly what I want. Text to measure, give it the font, do the measure, and then I can do that and make a bitmap from it. Okay, pretty cool. So let's do that. Let's make a text generator. Okay, in the text generator, we're going to parameterize it with the font, which I think also includes the size, and probably we want the color that we're going to draw it, and probably we want the string value. Capture those. also going to be my generator. Okay, so okay, excellent. Now, so the idea here is first we're going to measure the text. Let's say this class name was. E.graphics or control.graphics. Where am I going to get the graphics object? Can I just create one from something? It's like I have to make a bitmap first. That's really dumb, but I might just do that as like the throwaway. Or can I just do like a from h1 from image? No, it's really dumb. But this is a dumb bitmap. So I'm not going to do anything with it. I just want its graphics. Here we're going to measure the text. And text dimensions equals measure string text. Oh, and I also have to pass it to font. Measure the size of the text at that font. I'll write that outside the using though. What type are you? Size F. Text dimensions equals measure the string. Now what I want to do, oh, I also want to give this a buffer. Or padding, as you call it. So you can add some extra space to the bitmap around the raw size that it needs. So alright, so now the dimensions that we want are going to be now I want an actual bitmap that we care about, which is going to be the text dimensions dot width plus double the padding. And the reason we do double the padding is because that's like one on the left and one on the right of that size. And then we're also going to want now what is the problem with this? What is this, like floats? Size F. It's going to make me cast it down. Can you not cast a size F to an int? What's the problem here? Cannot convert from int to string? What the hell are you talking about? That's a width. Oh, that's an int. Oh, because it thinks a size F plus a number is a string? It's pretty dumb. Oh, come on, are you kidding me here? Why can't I cast it? Can't convert from int to string. It thinks I'm using the string file name one. Oh, I've got this extra. I see. That's what I'm doing wrong. So we're gonna width them or height. Now we can create a bitmap from that. The bitmap starts empty. At the end, we're going to give back the bitmap. We're going to so now I need to know how to actually draw the text. Now we're going to do the using, or we're going to get it from a graphics context from the real bitmap so that we can draw on it. We're going to do draw text, draw a string. Okay. The string is going to be the text that we passed in. We're going to give it the font that we passed in. The brush. Oh, you know what? I made this take a color, but I actually wanted to take a brush. So you can pass it whatever brush you want to do this. Brush, and then it wants the top left corner. Okay, which is literally going to be the padding and the padding, because we're gonna, like, if this corner right here was our actual, like, very top of our image, and we told it we want 10 pixels padding, then we want the text to start here at like 10, 10. So I'm gonna give it that with so we're just gonna literally give it the padding. Oh, come on, what are you talking about? Why can't you make a new size F? It wants floats. Do I have to cast it? Well, how can it not implicitly cast it into a float? It's even telling me the cast is redundant. What are you doing? What's the problem here? Draw. Oh, side. Okay. It wants a point F. Alright. That should be good. So we just draw the string on it with the brush and everything, and it should have a bitmap that's large enough. And then when you get it back, you can measure the size of the bitmap. Well, let's put that to the test. So in my brand generator, okay, so I did a gradient, I did a noise over the background. That's cool. Now let's try to do text generator for this. Okay, I'm gonna need to do a font. Font, string, family name, and size. Let's try that. What's some font? I'm gonna. Okay, let's do it like size 30 or whatever. And then let's get a solid color brush. Something like that when I did it yesterday. You can pass it Let's give it like 12 pixels. Okay. Then, so now then I gotta generate it. Equals, alright, so now I should have a bitmap with the text in it. And then, how do I dump that onto the actual bitmap that I'm generating? How do you add? Okay, provides methods to do what? G.draw image. Okay, at a certain point. No problem. So on the one that I'm drawing onto, we're gonna do draw image. And this is not really the correct place, but just to get it on there somewhere, we can do so this is gonna put it like with its top left corner in the center of the picture, and it's gonna go down from there. What does that do? Hey, it did something. Ah, look, it actually wrote it. Nice. Okay, but that font size for this YouTube banner is way too small. So I'm gonna have to have it later when I do the other profiles to generate for. I'm gonna have it like mush around these different sizes of everything to get them to be appropriate based on the profile size and the area of interest, for which we can do. Hey, you got the emoji to work. Sorry, I realized the reason I can't see the chat is because I've got the microphone sitting directly in the way of it. I'm gonna move the microphone kind of like over to here instead. Alright, so we've got that on there. Instead of size 12, let's make it like size 48. I still don't know if that's going to be big enough. I don't think 4 times larger is enough. What? Why does that seem like the same? Or was it really that small before? I think it was really that small before. Okay. No, it's not changing. It's not changing at all. Yeah, because I'm modifying the wrong number. That's the number of padding pixels. So this is the size. I had a size 30 before. Let's make that like size 100. Okay. Alright, now I got it bigger. That's cool. It's still... Well, I guess now I can start calculating out how big I actually want to make it, right? Because I've got an area of interest. So probably I should calculate the height of the text, like the font size, from the height of the area of interest. For YouTube, the area of interest is this chunk in the middle, which has got a height of like 338. I want this, I think I probably, for this one, probably like 140 is like the good font size. And I can go ahead and do the, set up the second one also. This color actually should be for the second word. I'm gonna take this whole block, and rename each of these. Okay, also say I think I made this one bigger originally. This one was darker. I think this might have been closer to like 64, 160, 160. Okay, and this one, for now, this is like the wrong order to do it. Oh, I see, I have to draw it down here. The Barton text top left is this. Also that. And now for now, I'm just gonna say the X is this. Oh, because I'm generating the points and whatever in a different order than I generated the things. Actually, I can get this to work right. Oh, I can center them. Okay. So I actually want half the profile width, so that's the center of the screen in the X-Gen, minus the full width of the Barton BMP. And then for the codes one, I do want it to start at the center line pretty much. Let's do this. Sometimes I put redundant parentheses on these expressions just to make it easier on the eye to see where they start and end. The compiler complains about it. See how it makes it like slightly gray? It's because it's telling me like, oh, you don't need to do that. It's not necessary. I can interpret the program without those parentheses. It's like, I know you can. I'm not worried about you. I want to interpret the program nicely. Okay, G draw image, Barton bitmap. I think that's fine. And that's got to go to at the codes text top left. How close does that get us? Well, that's not exactly what it was supposed to do. I think. Oh, because yeah, okay. I didn't finish changing this. Okay. So this should take the codes font, codes brush, codes text, and generate that. No? Why didn't we do it? What went wrong? Oh, because I also didn't change the generator to use. Okay. There we go. Now we're getting closer. So now I've got the two words, and we can start styling it and fiddling it. Oh, but before I do that, I want to show off the thing that I was just talking about a minute ago, which is because the noise filter now is respecting the alpha of the source. Well, first of all, this one in the background is now way too loud. Well, let's make it the gradient more subtle. And let's also make the noise color more subtle. It's like by half also. So that it's not so visually annoying before we do the next thing. Okay, yeah, that's a little bit chiller. So let's do a noise filter on just the text. Actually, for now, just to make it more obvious, I'm going to get rid of this noise filter step altogether, and instead I'm gonna do what do I want to do for the color of this one? Let's just do it white. So it's gonna be gray. And then what else we want for the noise filter? Oh, we had to pass the block size, right? Yeah, okay. Block size for this can be like 4. So now I should be able to apply the Barton bitmap. Yeah, okay. Well, that looks... Oh, because of the 255. Yeah, I understand what I did wrong, but you can see we get the actual pixelation on there. And if you zoom in, you can see the blocks don't like carry over off the side of the letters. The letters remain clean, but the blocks stay inside the letters, which is pretty cool. Okay. Let's tone that filter down a bit. Let's make that go. Yeah, pretty much like the other one. I configure the other filter. We can do the same thing to the other one. So now we have some noise that we're applying there. Right now those two are identical, but I might make them subtly different later. Now that's like too subtle. So for those, it actually does need to be like a heavier volume. Let's have the codes one be like that, and the Barton one can keep the actual coloring. Okay. No, it's okay. Maybe I want the codes one to actually be even more intense than that. I want bigger blocks. Like really big, ugly blocks. Okay, so there we got some kind of blockiness to it. I still don't really love that effect, but we can come back and revisit it later. Let's proceed with other parts for now. So the next thing to do is to actually pick appropriate fonts for each of these. Now, do I have like a font browser on the system? How do I know what fonts I have? Oh, that's cool. Alright, we do have one. So for the codes one, I definitely want some kind of monospace. What font do we have in Visual Studio? You have font in here somewhere. Advanced. Oh, advanced just takes you back to the old code editor. Text editor. Come on. Formatting? No. I know there used to be a font thing in here somewhere. I can probably use the stupid AI to figure it out faster. Cascadia code. Alright. So we can try that, but I just want something blockier than that, but let's see. What does it look like in Cascadia code? Yeah, you know, I appreciate that it's monospace, but that's not what I want. I want something, what was that one that I ended up finding? Oh, that's the wrong search entirely. Okay, here's Cascadia Mono, so that's what I was just looking at. We got Ubuntu Mono. Okay, these are some really crap fonts that are downloaded in here. I really don't like the look of the way that one rendered. So why not have like almost like the classic old Windows Notepad font. Fix this. Shift to Lucida console. Do we have that? Okay, we do have Lucida console. What's this other one it said? Fix this? No, it doesn't even exist. We really don't have any kind of like nice code type font. Well, screw it, let's go get one. Oh, okay, here we go. Byte bounds. Are these free? What do these dollar signs mean? Are the dollar signs, are the red ones the... Okay, the red ones are free. And the green ones... is free for commercial use. This font is free for personal use. Ah, okay. Here's what I'm doing. Does this count as commercial use? I think I'll stick to the red ones just to be safe. Ah, Courier is what I was imagining. Let's try this one, Byte Bounce. Like go to the containing folder or whatever. Okay, free for personal use, Okay, install font, So now in my fonts things, alright, cool, I got it to show up, got Byte Bounce. So now, in principle, because I think C# uses the system fonts, I should be able to make this Byte Bounce. Close this. Get the output directory back. Yeah, okay. So that's cool, but now I guess it needs to be like way huger. But I like that. I like the style of that. And I guess if I really wanted to, it's like a little fat, but I could probably like distort it. I could probably shrink it after I generate it. Let's go up to like 240. Yeah, okay. That more or less works. Yeah, it makes the blockiness stand out a little bit. I might shrink the size of the Barton one now to actually line it up. Oh, but I still need a decent font for the Barton one. What about Lucida Console? Yeah, okay. That's cool. I wish it was like pixelated a little bit though. Oh, you know what? I've got a really easy idea for a pixelate filter I could try to implement. So let's add pixelate filter. Yeah, what's up? Sorry, let's get back to a pixelate filter. So this one we want to pixelate by, we want to do it by a factor or a pixel size. Yeah, it's like a let's try to do it like that. Alright, so we got pixel width, pixel height. First time chat. Cheap viewers, streamboo.com, remove the space. I think we got a bot in the chat. Look. Oh, it's alright. It's not a big deal, but just funny new Twitch experiences. Okay, we got those. Let's give it an apply method. Okay, so the idea here is that we're going to scale down the original bitmap onto a bitmap that's much smaller. And then we're going to re-render the smaller one and scale it back up to replace the big one that came in. So let's give that a shot. We get a new bitmap that's let's call this I'm gonna do this. So round down. Onto that row. That should be pix width. Okay, so now we can make the small bitmap. The small width and the small height. What's wrong with this? That's what's wrong. So now get a graphics context for the small bitmap. Now, how are we gonna scale it down? Draw image. Okay, it's got only like a billion different. Draws the specified image at the specified location and within the specified size. But does that mean it like fills it with the size, or does that mean it stretches it to the size? Effect, XY, XY. Destination points. Source rect. Oh. Graphics unit, source unit. There's gotta be one of these in here. It might be that first one that I saw. We could try it. Draws it at a rectangle. Draws the specified image at the specified location and with the specified size. Let's try to see. Control scaling, providing a destination rectangle. Okay, got it. So if so, then that's really, really easy, because it just means we're literally going to draw the image onto, we're going to draw the input bitmap, and we're going to do, we're going to give it just the rectangle that we want to draw it into. So this is shrinking it and drawing it onto the other image. Now, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to get the graphics context for the original bitmap again. We're going to draw image. We're going to draw a small bitmap, but this time we're going to stretch it up. To the bitmap size. So if this works correctly, what this should do is it should mean the width and height of the pixels we put here should actually cause it to become chunkier. Because I'm really annoyed looking at this Barton here and it's super smooth. I don't want it to be super smooth, so let's try that. Let's go back to the renderer, and before I do the noise filter, the pixelate filter was like, I don't know, let's make it like 3 and 2 to make it really kind of like uneven. It's 3. No, let's make it tall though. So let's do like 2, 3, and then let's do apply the pixelator to the Barton bitmap, and then we'll apply the noise filter on top of that. Gonna do what we want. Does it? Kinda. It makes it like blurrier. I was kind of hoping it would be like sharp though. Is there any way to like set the rendering mode the way that it scales? yes. When scaling an image, you control the smoothing behavior by setting interpolation mode of the graphics object. Hey, there we go. So let's give it a really shitty interpolation mode. Because, like, you don't need anything special to get this effect. This just looks like you don't know how to manage your sizes and keep all your pixels right or whatever. We want to create something that's sharp, but it's like jagged. So let's see, that would be in the pixelate one, right? So when we come and do here, so when we shrink it down, it doesn't matter. Actually, I'm going to do it on both. See what options we've got here. Bilinear, bicubic, low, nearest neighbor. Okay, this is the one we want. So nearest neighbor means it literally takes the color of like the closest pixel to the one that it's at. Instead of all the other ones are like blending modes, like it tries to sample the color of multiple pixels in the area and blend them together according to like how far apart they are, so that you get like a nice mathematical average of what the color should be. It's a very reasonable default thing to do, but nearest neighbor is going to make it really chunky and gritty, because it's just going to take whatever pixel color happened to be closer. That's exactly what we want. Hey, there we go. That's the scaling shittiness that I'm talking about. Yeah, it really chunks it up. Alright. Let's chunk it up a little bit more aggressively, actually. Let's go like a 6/8 instead. Okay, that's a... You know, I thought that was gonna look a lot cooler. That actually looks pretty bad. What about instead of nearest neighbor, I try like low? Or maybe it's maybe I don't want to do nearest neighbor on both. Maybe when it shrinks it, I want to let it interpolate, but when it stretches it back up, I want nearest neighbor. That actually might be the sweet spot. So when it shrinks it, we'll let it do nice interpolation. When it expands it, we want it to just take the random closest pixel. No, the other way. Because that looks... Well, you know, that like almost creates a cool effect. I kind of like that. It's not awful. Let's make these parameters to come in. Starting to get enough parameters in this constructor. It's nicer to knock them down to the next line. Okay. So now I'm going to set the interpolation mode here. I want to capture these also. Let's give it the let's capture those two. And here we'll just set them in. So we got a shrink mode and a grow mode. Now over here where we set it, we can pass. God damn. Just use the library. We can have it shrink. This is the other way I wanted to try it. Or no, so what we just tried is we let it keep the default when it shrinks, and then use nearest neighbor when it grows, which gave it that kind of like shadowy effect. So now we want to do it the other way. We want nearest neighbor when it shrinks, and then we want let's do like bicubic. Bicubic is like one of the fanciest ones that uses like curves to try to get a really nice color. It's like one of the more computationally expensive ones. No, that looks weird as shit. I don't like it. Yeah, it's when you stretch it back up and you're using another mode that it gets kind of like weird and glowy and patchy. I don't really like that at all. So what about like doing it with low though instead of like absolute nearest neighbor? It's probably just like a straight lerp or whatever. No, looks bad. Alright. So we definitely want it to stretch up with nearest neighbor. Maybe we want it to stretch down with something a little different. Why don't we get that shadowy effect back? I think that's kind of cool though, actually. It kind of comes out with like a 3D. Like totally on accident. I could work with that. And then we can give it that, you know, increase the pixelation of that filter. This one, let's make that down to 4, but let's really increase the 64, 92, 128, make it like really huge variance. Yeah, that's got a nice texture to it. I still don't like the font though. Let me clean up the font a little. Lucida console is not what I want. I mean, I could just keep the byte bounce also, technically. There's gotta be a better font on this stupid computer. It's Cascadia Mono. Consolas. I think that's what I was looking for earlier. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So, alright, for now, I'm probably not going to go too much longer here. Let's try to get what we've done in like a little bit better state. I kind of want to get these two fit inside the, well, you know, when I zoom out, I still don't see the level of pixelation that I want. Can I up that more? Six, 8. That's a silly amount of pixelation. Oh no, I've accidentally clicked Copilot. Go away. Go away. I don't even know how it did that. Why is it still sharp? Why is it still like partly sharp? Oh, it's because I drew it over. I need to clear the old bitmap first. It didn't even occur to me that it wouldn't replace it, but because it's got the yeah, okay. This actually might have been messing it up before too. This might have been why I had some sections that look round and other sections that looked chunky. Because it wasn't clearing the other bitmap first. Let's fix that in the pixelate filter. And the first thing we're gonna do is just take clear. Have to do them. Complete 0. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot closer to what I was supposed to do. Now you can see it's like 2 pixely almost. It's starting to look like it was rendered super small and like full of like crazy artifacts. Alright, now I'm gonna knock that effect back a little bit because it's a little bit too much. Pixelator. Let's take this to like 8 and 12. No, that's still too much. Actually, now that I fixed up that thing, I kind of want to take it like way back. 2 and 3 is still too small, but we could be like 4 and 6 probably. That's all it was supposed to do originally. Just give it a little bit of grit. Yeah, see, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That came out nice. Now it looks like it's yeah, just like poorly rendered or whatever. But it's got like enough interesting noise and grit in it. And then this other one, should I pixelate the codes? I kind of like the way it looks sharp. There might be a nice contrast between them. We can try it. We can try anything. Let's do it for the noise. I'm just gonna copy this whole thing. I hate typing interpolation mode a million times. 4 and 6. Let's make that one sharper. Let's also make it like wide instead of tall, so it has like a different character. You can barely, it's so pixel already, you can barely even tell. It didn't even do anything. Oh no, it's because I didn't apply it. Never mind. It didn't do anything because I didn't tell it to do anything. It's the codes bitmap. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, actually, that's kind of nice. Gives it just like a little bit of fuzz at the edge. And it's very sharp fuzz because the text is originally very sharp. I kind of like that. I could work with that. It's like, it's not super unsharp, but it's like a little unsharp. Alright, let's try putting the, let's try putting our noise back in the background that we took out earlier. Oh, noise color. This one, yeah, I like this noise color. I want the noise color actually to be even more restricted to like blue shades. Oh, and you know what I might do actually? I might pixelate the noise. I might pixelate the background noise. And for there, for the... yeah, it's like a little bit too loud. It's too much blue. Just knock this down to like... So down here, I'm doing the pixelator, and after that I apply the noise filter. But up here I'm getting the texture from the noise filter. So we can make a background pixelator. So after I generate the noise, then I can pixelate the noise by like, let's make it like 4x4. Just to get it kind of grainy. That's still, I don't know, it might still be too much. I want these to be closer. I want that kind of like tealish color. Let's go like 8, 24, 32. Yeah, that's more like the color. It's still a little bit too light. Okay, so we did pixelate. Those pixel chunks are bigger. Now, the really funny thing to do would be to take our noise and apply it again. So we got noise generation, then we pixelate it. Actually, yeah, let's do this. Let's pixelate it like quite large. And then we'll do another layer of noise. And then we could even pixelate it again. So now we're gonna pixelate the noise and then get noise on the pixels. Well, it is a very interesting pattern that it made. I don't know if I love it. It might just be too much. I think I do like the character of it. But first of all, now we need the gradient to be a little heavier. The gradient is going to be like... And then, especially if we're doing 2 layers of this noise, that this should really be like... substantially less. Okay. We can work with it. Probably also do some other stuff later to clean it up. Alright, I'm not going to stick around too much longer right now. I think maybe the last thing we can try to do is arrange these 2 things so that they're going to go in that like area of interest. I think we already got the size of it kind of lined up. Or I think we already got them lined up like horizontally. But we could probably... Well, for now, this isn't how I want to do it. Eventually, I want to stagger them so that like one's higher and the other one's lower. But for starters, we'll get it just so that they're kind of like evenly spaced. Just to leave it in kind of a decent state. So down here, right now, so these are our top left points for both of those text objects. And here we pretty much need to do this trick. So we want it to start from the height. We want it to subtract half of its... We want it to start from half of the image height and subtract half of its own height to make it centered. And we want the same thing down here, except with the codes bitmap. Yeah, so now I've at least got it like kind of lined up. Now something is going on here. There's like a lot of extra space in the middle. Is that because of some value that I pass for? Is that these 12s? Are they making it huge? That seems like way too big to be caused by those 12s. Feels more likely that the measure text thing is wrong. It's not calculating it correctly. Yeah, that didn't barely bring them any closer together. But yeah, it's a start. So let's well, what's going on here? I'm doing something kind of wrong at the bottom. Like not filling part of it. Maybe that's a consequence of the scaling it down and scaling it back up. In fact, it probably is that. We can fix it later. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add like an appropriate git ignore. Actually, correct that. I'm gonna steal a git ignore. Alright, that should be fine. Kind of like so in this project, I'm gonna do and probably does this guy put any of his own like credit for his thing in here? I don't think he did, which is very cool of him, but I'm gonna credit him. I'm gonna take his just pop it in the comments in case anybody goes and looks at this. .html, what the hell are you doing? Oh, what the? No, this is not how we do it. We got to, is there like a raw view? Yeah, okay. Just grab it like that. Throw it in here. What's the URL we have here again? What's this fella's name? I think it's in the URL. Alright, he's got his actual name on it. Let's put that in there. This guy. Okay, so now I got a little note in there. No, we didn't just totally rip files from the internet without crediting anybody. So I've got a decent git ignore. I actually do want to add to it because I want to take out this out directory. Per project settings. I don't know if that's not already covered. Yeah, I think not. So let's give it the out directory. I think that covers everything. I don't really do custom git ignore stuff much. You just end it with a slash. Yeah, okay. So it does do what I thought. So that out is going to make it so that this folder that's got the images in it doesn't get checked into the Git repository. Whoa! .gitignore file. What the hell? That must have gotten created when oh, wait. Where is that in here? When I accidentally saved the web page. Gitignore files. Okay. Now let's look at the git changes. That all looks like stuff that we actually want to keep and check in. So no problem. How do I want to describe this? All right. Configure. I have not even configured my Git stuff in here yet because I just downloaded it before I started this stream. No, what is it? All right. Yep, setting the globals. It's not gonna let me commit. Beautiful. Then let's just pop it up there. Okay, successfully pushed. And let's just I always like to double check just in case GitHub went crazy. Okay, for anybody who was watching this stream or anybody who comes back and watches it in the future, you can find all the code that I work on in these streams in this github.com/bartoncodes. So I just went and checked in. This is exactly the set of files that we were just working on in Visual Studio. All of the code that's in here is checked in under MIT license. So if you like anything that you see that's been coded or generated on this channel and uploaded in this repository or anywhere in this entire GitHub, you're free to take it, use it, do whatever you want with it. There's no express warranty. It's not guaranteed to do anything. Yeah, just have fun and learn to be a better programmer. All right, have a great evening.